So today let's look at some old Archie comics from the Wayback Machine. This is my favorite comic artist, Harry Lucey. And let's take a look and see what he does here. Look at the posing. Look at the simplicity. Look at the composition. Look at what's supposed to be funny. Cleaning guy in the back, mopping, as these guys come in with wet shoes sloshing over his newly clean floor. Look at their poses. There's not a lot of detail here, but it's enough so that you know that he's wearing a jacket, slightly bell-bottom pants and boots. He's wearing galoshes and a jacket. You know exactly what's going on. In the next panel, you see him chasing them, and you know exactly what he's wearing. And yet it's all simplified. There's not a lot of rendering here. The inking style is a heavy line on the outside, nice and smooth and crisp, and it's thick and thin lines. And usually the lines on the interior of whatever he's drawing are lighter, thinner. And when you break down his drawing style of the characters, this is a different artist here. I'm not sure which one drew this, but this is a different Archie artist, and it looks different than the other guy, than Harry Lucey's. Now we're back to Harry Lucey again. When you break down his style, you see this simplistic face and round on the bottom, square on the top, and you see how he handles the solidity of the head. And so if we were to take a look at how he draws, it would be this. It would be, let's say we start with a basic circle or oval, but when he draws Archie, he flattens out the top of the head and it's a U shape down here. And if it's a 3/4 shot and it goes back like this, and comes up here, and then the signature hairdo comes down like that. And the eye line here. Archie's eyes are always set well apart. And these dark eyebrows up top. Looks like he puts a line here, another one here. So let's move this up like this. And it goes back. And it comes down like that. And then a very simplistic nose, because he's got freckles that go across, usually in a triangle shape. And his nose comes out from the center line like that. And then there's always a line here. And he's always so excited about something. Tongue. Teeth. That. And then his ear back here. And the hair comes up like that and joins. And that's more or less how you draw Archie. And he's got that red orange hair, so you can color it in like this. the side of his head has this hatching like that. Little freckles here. So that's how you would do Archie. And let's see who else is in this story. Here's his girlfriend Veronica, and mother and father, and kids at the shop, Jughead. This one here fascinated me because it was tilted down at a 3/4 shot, looking down at him. And so if we were to copy that, you could say, let's simplify it by tilting the egg down like this, and then putting our guidelines here and here, because the top of his head is kind of flat. And his face comes down like this, center line across for the eyes. And then his hair comes here, here. This will be just a color separation. And put the nose coming out of that center line like this. And he's got a little short nose. And then his mouth underneath. Kind of like that. And he doesn't show a tongue on this view, it's just all teeth. Comes back up here. And have his ear like that. Back of the head comes up and round. Shoulders go right across like that, and his arm comes over. Shirt line here. His other arm, we can see through Jughead, goes across like this. And just make it a solid arm like that. You can do your line like this. And then make it solid. And he's holding a candle. Goes down with the flame. And then he's holding a dish of ice cream just above it. And let's just rough that in. Ice cream up top. this. So looking at this, we can say, how do we correct this? Well, we could make his jawline a little bit lower, like right around here, and then it goes up. And we can bring this line up just a little bit. The simpler the character design, the harder it is to draw sometimes. So when you make up your characters, what's going to happen is that you can draw them with ease, but if someone else tries to draw it, you can tell that they don't have all of the subtleties down that you have put into the design. And if we were to darken that in just so we know which lines we're going to use, it might be something like this. Make sure we come down here. You want to aim the eyes at what he's looking at. So these eyes are aimed right at this candle in the dish. So that's how you draw Harry Lucey Archie. So upcoming video, we'll do inking demonstration so you can see what it's like to throw down a ink line on this. But there's a very basic Archie. It doesn't look right. It looks like his head should come up here. That looks better. And then the orange hair. Yeah, much better. I made his head too short. So you can find Harry artwork, Harry Lucey artwork on the internet. Just look up his name, Harry Lucey, and you'll see a ton of images from old Archie comics. He passed away back in the 80s. I don't know what disease he had, but he had some kind of disease that he had to get out of comics in the mid-70s. And then he suffered with that disease for a few years, and then he passed away. But he's my favorite Archie artist. The other one being Dan DiCarlo. So when you look up old comics, you'll find all these names. So until next time, keep drawing and keep having fun.